Hey YouTube, what's going on? Today we have a video looking at a direct comparison between the Sofirn SP35T and the Convoy S21B. And if you watched my previous video, we have this Convoy S21B to set up to be a little bit more on the tactical side to be able to compete with lights such as the SP35T and other similar 21700 tactical style lights. So we're going to look at a number of different things, and I'm going to compare between the two lights. And then we're going to look at what we probably think is the better choice, and we're going to look at some beam shots. So let's start off with the tail switch, because the Convoy S21B, as you can see, does not have a side switch. It is not a dual switch light. It is tail switch only. So we'll start off with the tail switch comparisons here. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I feel that it needs to be a strong and good tail switch, because if you're using it as a tactical light, military, security, self-defense, police, whatever, you want to be able to easily click that button, meaning that you do not want a protruding area in the middle with such dead space on the sides that if you accidentally catch it from the side, that the light won't turn on, similar to the Sofirn SC31T. However, with this light, this has a great tail switch. As you can see, it's pretty chunky, it's pretty tall, but no matter where you click it from, that light turns on. It's got a nice solid click. This is great because in a high adrenaline situation, if you need to access that light immediately, you're not going to accidentally click it in one side and the light not turn on. I'm clicking it all the way to the corner here. That light is turning on. This is a great tail switch. Now, I removed the rubber mechanical tail switch off the Convoy S21B, which was absolutely great, and I would say it was equal, if not even a little bit better than the Sofirn's tail switch. It came with a great tail switch. However, I could not ignore this tail switch right here. The fact that this was available, and available for the cheap price of either, it might have been $1.50, $2, somewhere in there. So for one, it's lit up around the ring. So if it is in the middle of the night, you drop your light, whatever, you can easily find your light and find what side your button is on. Additionally, it's got a sensitive button on it, and it's got a great click to it, but I can get to my half presses very easily to swap between modes. This is a wonderful tail switch, and it feels like such a significant upgrade. For this type of tail switch to come on just your regular light, like if this Sofirn would have came with it, you know, if the Phoenix PD36R would come with it, whatever, I think it would significantly upgrade the price of what you'd have to pay for the light. Whereas to do it yourself on this Convoy, it's only a couple dollars, and it makes it a wonderful, wonderful tail switch. So when it comes down to these tail switches, I'd call it about equal on the rubber, maybe a slight lead to the Convoy, but with this upgrade, it is a significant upgrade. However, again, just want to make sure that I state this. Great tail switch on the Sofirn. I'm not knocking it at all. It's just that the Convoy's metal switch is too good to pass up on. So now let's look at the size. Now, this might not matter too much if you have it in a holster on a police belt or something like that. But if you're just carrying it in your jeans pocket or shorts pocket, size may matter. Now, both of these are 21700 lights. So, of course, they're going to be a little bit bigger. They're going to be a little bit thicker in diameter. But as you can see, the head size does not increase whatsoever on the Convoy. It stays the same size from tail to head, diameter-wise, the entire way up and down. And because there's no side switch, it doesn't need the same things inside the head like it does for the Sofirn. And here with its pill and all the driver and everything is connected, in order to make this, you'll see it's a little bit thicker there than the tube. See that? So it's not only a little bit thinner in diameter all the way from top to bottom for the Convoy, but it's significantly shorter. Now, it's still got a very deep head on that Convoy. As you can see, let's flip these upside down. Where the head starts on the Sofirn, right there. So there's equal, right? The Convoy's head is actually quite a bit longer. It's just that you've got this giant spot here for the button on the Sofirn, which is completely fine. It's a dual switch light. That's expected. But yeah, size-wise, I've got to give it to the Convoy because it's able to do it in a smaller package. Now, of course, if you prefer a dual switch over a tail switch only, then that's completely fine. You'll just have to deal with a little bit bigger in size. Now, looking at the emitter, here's where it's interesting because the Sofirn with its upgraded emitter comes with an XHP 50.2, which is quite a floody beam. Not only is it a floody beam, but it comes with this orange peel reflector on there, so it's going to spread out the beam even better and more wider. Usually on a tactical style light, I like an SFT40. I want high candela. I want it straight, directly to the point with a high beam intensity. But I also want it to be able to. I also want to be able to do it with a lot of spill, usable spill, so that it's also a good everyday carry light as well. So with that said, of course, I'm going to choose on the Convoy the SFT40 emitter to put in this. But if that is not your preferred emitter and you prefer an XHP, you can put an XHP 50.2 in this Convoy. The Convoy, it's completely up to you what emitter you want to put in it. You can put in a 519A if you want. You can make this, you can style this in a way where it's more of a just a normal everyday carry light. But if you want it set up for a more tactical purpose, then yeah, SFT40, the Sofirn does not come with an SFT40 option, however. So I've got to give it to the Convoy in this one, especially for the fact that if you want to match its emitter, you can do so as well. All right, so moving on, if you looking at the grip of the light, let's say that you are a police officer and maybe you're wearing gloves and you need to grab your light real quick or whatever, and you want a good grip on your light. This Sofirn, the diamond knurling on there, is actually really great to grip. Feels really good in hand. It feels also with a little bit of increase in size right there from the tube to the head. It feels like my fingers lock in place and don't really slide. Okay. Whereas on the Convoy, I think it's got a really nice grip with the spiral knurling here, whatever you want to call it. But it does feel like my fingers can slip a little bit. So on the grip, I'm going to give it to the Sofirn. Now, I like the way the Convoy looks better, but as far as the actual usability of the grip, I think that the Sofirn has it beat a little bit. Moving on to the bezel. You can call it a strike bezel, whatever you want to call it. A bezel is important on a light that you're going to call tactical, not only for the purpose of if you were to hit a strike and run, or to strike a window to break your glass, whatever. I look at it more, though, as I want some drop protection on the head of my light. So the Sofirn comes with a bezel. I think it's completely fine. It's not sharp at all. It's pretty rounded. If I can get a close-up here. So as you can see, I mean, it's very rounded on the corners, on the edges. If that is what you're looking for a highly serrated bezel, that's not highly serrated or anything. It's just a little something there that you can use. Maybe it would be able to break glass. I'm really not sure, but I do feel that it helps with some drop protection. Now on the Convoy, it's got this nice stainless steel bezel, and it definitely feels like it adds some protection to the head there. But for about, I think, want to say $2, you could change out this bezel. It's threaded. You just unscrew it and take it off, and you can put on a serrated bezel that will look very, very similar to the Sofirn SC32's bezel. So if you want something with a little bit of serrations in it, you can go that route as well, and it won't be quite as gnarly as something like the ThruNite BSS V4 or V5's bezel. So on the bezel, I'm going to give it to Convoy for the ability to choose between two different options. On the prices, so we're going to look at ordering directly from the manufacturer. For the Sofirn, we're looking at $30.29. And I don't know if that's just a sale price or if that's their consistent price, but that's what it's showing right now. $30.29, and that's with battery. For the Convoy, to get it in the SFT40 format, $24.39, and that's to get it directly from the Convoy flashlight store on AliExpress. So obviously the price is going to go to the Convoy by a little bit. For the user interface, and obviously this is going to be pretty important, you're going to want a good user interface if you're going to be using this for a tactical style purpose Or really, what I found that if you're going to carry a light, if you don't like the user interface, you're probably not going to regularly use or carry that light. So you want a good user interface on it. But some things that are going to be important if you're military, security, police, whatever, is direct access to turbo, potentially direct access to strobe, and then maybe even an ability to get direct access into a moonlight or a small mode like a medium and turbo mode, whatever. So on the Convoy, this has a 12 group driver, meaning that there's 12 different groups of settings that you could potentially put this in. So, for example, if you have it in group 1, which is what usually the light ships with, it will be the ability to get a 0.1% eco mode, a 1% low, and a 10% medium, and a 50% high, 100% turbo, and then you'll have a strobe mode, a bicycle mode, and a battery check mode. Or you could switch to a whole nother group where, let's say, the only light output you can get is 100% output turbo mode. And that is when you turn on a light, you're only getting turbo. Or maybe you want it to kick on turbo first, but you also want a high and medium in there. So you put it on a mode that comes with 100%, a 50%, and a 10%, something like that. You can choose what mode you want, and you can make this as tactical of a light or EDC friendly of a light as you want based on what mode that you would like to select. With that said though, the Sofirn SP35T, its user interface was designed for the purpose of being able to be usable in both everyday carry and in tactical conditions. So you have direct access to turbo no matter what from the tail switch. You have the ability to switch between modes on the side switch. You have the ability to access eco mode through holding the side switch and turning the tail switch. And you have a group 1 and a group 2. So whereas the Convoy has 12 groups you could choose from, this actually has 2 groups to choose from. You have your regular first group, which I believe is called outdoor group. And then you have your, which by the way, I think is already a plenty tactical group. But on group 2, it's specifically a tactical mode where you have direct access to turbo and strobe from the rear tail switch, and then from the side switch you can cycle between turbo and medium, and that's it. So which is a great option, because then you don't necessarily have to blast somebody with turbo if you're in police or military, whatever, but you only want to have those 3 settings of medium, turbo, and strobe. So I think that the Sofirn is going to edge out for the better user interface, even though I think the Convoy is great and it has a lot of capabilities. The Sofirn was designed specifically to give you a better interface in a tactical atmosphere or situation. So moving on, as far as charging, the Sofirn SP35T has USB-C recharging. You just lift up that flap right there, as you can see. Okay. The Convoy, however, does not have USB-C recharging on this, which means you will have to use your own battery charger. So if that's important to you, then I'd say the Sofirn is the winner there as far as charging goes. Now, those are the things that I think are most important to look at as far as calling these 2 tactical style lights and how to compare between the 2. But a couple other things that I just want to note. The clip. So the Sofirn SP35T comes with a clip. It's a great clip. It's a 2-way clip. It's got tight retention. It's got good size. I really like it. The Convoy, however, comes with a lanyard, and that's fine. I'm a lanyard user anyways, so that's cool with me. But if you want a clip for it, you're going to have to purchase one separately and put it on yourself, which it can do. And then another category I want to look at is customization. And with the Sofirn, when you order that light, you're just getting the light the way that they built it, the way they manufactured it, and that's what you're getting. And that's how it works with most brands. With the Convoy, though, you can completely set this up outside of just using this tube. You can set up anything in the internals to be whatever you want. It's completely customizable for the Convoy S21B. And then the last category I want to look at is the ease of purchase. So for Sofirn, it's pretty simple. You can go on the Sofirn website, you can go on Amazon, whatever. They're really easy to purchase, get a hold of. But to purchase a Convoy, it can be kind of confusing because on AliExpress, you have to know which Convoy store to go to, which, by the way, it's just called Convoy Flashlight Store if you do want to order one of these. But to make sure you're ordering from the right Convoy store, because there's other ones as well, and it's kind of tricky if you're not familiar with ordering these type of flashlights to know how to set up your features on it, what exactly you're ordering. It can be a little bit confusing. So I'm going to give the Sofirn the nod as well for being a lot easier to purchase, especially if you're newer to this. So overall, here's the situation I found myself in, because I just recently got this Convoy S21B, and as I was really looking at these lights previously, just the other night, I asked myself, well, if I could only keep one of these lights and was using it for, my tactical style light, which one would I keep? And I couldn't answer the question. I'm genuinely 50-50 down the line. I think they're just as good one as the other. I really truly believe that. And the fact that the Convoy S21B, even though it wasn't necessarily built to be a tactical light, is able to do that with the SP35T, which is a phenomenal tactical light, and I like it more and more. That tells me that the S21B is a great light, and you can't go wrong either way. So it actually is absolutely worth a purchase to get this S21B if you're interested in a 21700 tactical style light, or if you want to set it up for more of an EDC style, you can do that as well. So for the next thing that we'll do is we'll look at the beam shots, and we'll take a look at the comparison between how they look between the XHP 50.2 and the SFT 40, and then I'll leave it up to you. Let me know in the comments what light you think is better for a 21700 tactical style light. Thanks for watching. I'm in my car right now, and I'm actually holding both the Convoy S21B and the Sofirn SP35T in my hand right now, but you can see that the Convoy, in the middle of pitch black, you can still see it, and see it very clearly. That blue ring on the upgraded metal tail switch really is nice to have at nighttime, whereas that Sofirn, I don't think you can really see it in my hand whatsoever. And it's raining pretty good out right now, so I'm going to try to step out of the car real quick and get you guys these beam shots pretty quickly. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. It is raining pretty hard. There's some lightning. But I'm going to go directly into turbo mode as soon as we step out of the car here. So let's do this real quick. Okay. So Convoy. And there we have that SFT 40 emitter. And so you're still getting a ton of usable spill there, as you can see, but a great, nice hot spot with high candela if you need to use that. And then now let's switch over to the Sofirn, which what I said is a floody beam. And as you can see, not really a whole lot of hot spot. It really just lights up a wide area. So a little bit better at a multi-use light, but I think that SFT 40 is by far superior in a tactical style light. Thanks for watching the video, and stay tuned because we're going to have some more comparisons soon. Thanks.